Hello children, welcome to Tejus Education. This is the third part of the lesson, life process. Let's begin. Today's topic is respiration. If you take page number 101, class 10 science textbook, you will find this activity 6.4. Take some freshly prepared lime water in a test tube. Lime water हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं इसे? चूना. जो चूना हम वॉल पर लगाते हैं, it's called चूने का पानी, और लेमनेड नींबू का पानी. So यहाँ पर चूने के पानी के बारे में बात हो रही है. Take some freshly prepared lime water in a test tube. Blow air through this lime water. Figure 6.7b. How long does it take for the lime water to turn milky? It instantly turns lime water milky. Observation is it instantly turns lime water milky. Use a syringe or a pichkari to pass air through some fresh lime water taken in another test tube. Figure 6.7a. If you use a syringe or a pichkari, what will happen? How long it takes the lime water to turn milky? When we blow air with the help of syringe or pichkari, it takes time and effort to turn the lime water milky. Reason: our body cells produce carbon dioxide through oxidation of food. The food in the presence of oxygen, it produces carbon dioxide. This gas is exhaled out through the lungs. So when lime water reacts with carbon dioxide, it forms an insoluble precipitate. This turns lime water milky. You can see the equation also, CaOH twice plus carbon dioxide is rise to calcium carbonate. Now when air is blown through the syringe or pichkari, air is pushed through the lime water. And air, as we know, is a mixture of gases. It contains very less amount of carbon dioxide. As a result, the lime water may not turn milky or takes a lot of effort to turn milky. Activity 6.5. Take some fruit juice or sugar solution, add some yeast to this, take this mixture in a test tube, fit it with a one-hole cork. Fit the cork with a bent glass tube. Dip the free end of the glass tube into a test tube containing freshly prepared lime water. Observe the change. How long does the lime water take time to change? What does this tell us about the products of fermentation? If you see this picture, the test tube with the fruit juice and some amount of yeast is attached to a holder. Then you see a bended tube inside a test tube with freshly prepared lime water. What is seen? Carbon dioxide is released. That is because of the fermentation that is taking place inside the fruit juice because of the presence of yeast. Observation: the lime water turned milky. It takes 5 to 10 minutes for the change to occur. The product of fermentation is carbon dioxide, which is released and turns lime water milky. Now this is an important question. Breakdown of glucose by various pathways. What is the use of food material taken in during the process of nutrition? Why do we eat food? We eat food to get energy, energy to run, energy to skip, energy to walk, energy to dance, right? The use of food material taken in during the process of nutrition is used in cells to provide energy for various life processes. Diverse organisms, different kind of organisms do this in different ways. Some use oxygen to break down glucose completely into carbon dioxide and water. So that is called aerobic respiration, because here usage of oxygen is taking place. Some use pathways that do not involve oxygen, that is called anaerobic respiration. Now let's learn this image breakdown of glucose by various pathways, as this is a very important topic. Glucose, a 6-carbon molecule, is broken down into pyruvate, a 3-carbon molecule, in cytoplasm. This is the first step in the breakdown of glucose. It is also called glycolysis. Now, this pyruvate gets converted into ethanol, carbon dioxide, and energy in the absence of oxygen in yeast. So, it is also called anaerobic respiration due to the absence of oxygen, and this is also known as fermentation. The process by which glucose in cytoplasm getting converted into pyruvate, and this pyruvate in yeast giving rise to ethanol, carbon dioxide energy, is called fermentation. Now, when the pyruvate is converted into carbon dioxide, water, and energy. So when this glucose inside the cytoplasm gives rise to pyruvate, and this pyruvate in the presence of oxygen inside the mitochondria gives rise to carbon dioxide plus water plus energy, is called aerobic respiration. So children, anaerobic respiration and aerobic respiration difference you have to learn nicely. Okay, and in some cases when there is lack of oxygen inside our muscle cells, this pyruvate gets converted into lactic acid and energy. Lactic acid is a 3-carbon molecule. So what happens when the lactic acid builds up inside our muscle cells due to some sudden activity? We get cramps. So a question may arise in MCQ, why do we get cramps? So they will give you an option, is it because of ethanol, lactic acid, carbon dioxide, or oxygen? You have to write correct option, accumulation of lactic acid inside the muscles. Okay children, hope this is clear. Anaerobic respiration, absence of oxygen; aerobic respiration, presence of oxygen; and lack of oxygen gives rise to lactic acid inside the muscles. Now there is a question asked, why the energy released in aerobic respiration is more than anaerobic respiration? It is because more energy producing molecules, ATP, is produced more during aerobic respiration due to the presence of oxygen. Okay. The energy released during cellular respiration is immediately used to synthesize a molecule called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is used to fuel all our activities in our cell. So very important molecule. During processes, ATP is broken down, giving rise to a fixed amount of energy which can drive the endothermic reactions taking place in the cell. So ATP is a very important energy molecule. It is required to conduct various life processes in our body. Adenosine triphosphate, energy carrying molecule found in the cells of all living. These capture chemical energy released during breakdown of food and utilize it to fuel other life processes. ATP. ATP is the energy currency for most cellular processes. The energy released during the process of respiration is used to make an ATP molecule from ADP, adenosine diphosphate, and inorganic phosphate. Endothermic processes in the cell then use this ATP to drive the reaction. When the terminal phosphate linkage in ATP is broken down using water, energy equivalent to 30.5 kilojoule is released. So this may come as an MCQ question. You should know 30.5 kJ of energy is released. So they are comparing ATP to a battery. Think of how a battery can provide energy for many different kinds of uses. It can be used to obtain mechanical energy, light energy, electrical energy, and so on. Similarly, ATP can be used in the cell for contraction of muscles, protein synthesis, conduction of nerve impulses. So this also you should know what are the functions of ATP. What are the different kind of activity that helps? It helps inside our body. It conducts the various type of activities. Since the aerobic respiration pathway depend on oxygen, aerobic organisms need to ensure that there is sufficient intake of oxygen. We have seen that plants exchange gas through stomata. This is also one important part for MCQ point of view. The large intercellular spaces ensure that all cells are in contact with air. Because they have to absorb oxygen. They need oxygen. Aerobic organisms. Carbon dioxide and oxygen are exchanged by diffusion here. So in general, what is the definition of diffusion? When the concentration of ions, movement of concentration of ion from higher concentration to lower concentration area, right? So carbon dioxide and oxygen are exchanged by diffusion. They can go into cell or away from them and out into the air. The direction of diffusion depends upon the environmental condition, the requirement of plant. If plant requires carbon dioxide, it will absorb, it will take in. If it does not require carbon dioxide, it will eliminate it. Okay. At night, when there is no photosynthesis occurring, carbon dioxide elimination is the major exchange activity going on. So if the question comes, what is the major exchange activity going on during the night in plants? You have to say elimination of carbon dioxide. During the day, carbon dioxide generated with the help of respiration is used up for photosynthesis. So there is no release of carbon dioxide in the daytime. Instead, oxygen is released during the daytime. Okay, animals have evolved different organs for uptake of oxygen from the environment and to get rid of carbon dioxide produced. For example, in human being, lungs help in exchange of gases. Terrestrial animals can breathe the oxygen in the atmosphere, whereas the animals that live in water, what do? They also need oxygen. So oxygen is found in dissolved form, right? The oxygen is dissolved in water. Now, the important questions that usually come from this particular topic is difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Why is the energy produced in aerobic respiration more? Describe the various steps by which glucose is broken down in various organisms. How are oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange in plants? What is a major gas exchange during night and day? Define diffusion, define glycolysis. So for the exchange of gases during night and day, we know that during the day oxygen is released, during the night carbon dioxide is eliminated. And how the oxygen carbon dioxide exchange plan? Stomata. You have to talk about the guard cells, right? And various steps of glucose broken down. We discussed that picture. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Why is energy produced in aerobic respiration more? So children, I really want you to answer these questions in the comment section, or if you want any other answer, do ask in the comment section. Now let's go and revise certain MCQ topics. When air is blown from mouth into a test tube containing lime water, the lime water turns milky due to the presence of carbon dioxide. The first step is the breakdown of glucose into pyruvate. This process takes place in cytoplasm. The pyruvate may be converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide. This process takes place in yeast during fermentation. Since this process takes place in the absence of oxygen or air, it is called anaerobic respiration. The correct sequence of anaerobic reaction in yeast is glucose, cytoplasm, pyruvate, the absence of oxygen, ethanol, and carbon dioxide, and you write in yeast. Which of the following is the most appropriate for aerobic respiration? That is glucose, cytoplasm, pyruvate, mitochondria, carbon dioxide, water, and energy. So aerobic respiration takes place in mitochondria, anaerobic respiration takes place in yeast. So this picture I'm again sharing so that you have to understand that this is very important, right? Glucose 6-carbon molecule in cytoplasm gets converted into pyruvate 3-carbon molecule. In the absence of oxygen in yeast, it produces ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy. When lack of oxygen inside a muscle cell, it produces lactic acid and energy. And in mitochondria, presence of oxygen produces carbon dioxide, water and energy. Wish you all success in the upcoming board exam, children. Thanks for watching. All the best.